Seems like the very in thing now for bands to do, especially British bands for some reason, is playing with orchestras, and especially playing at Abbey Road Studios of all places. I mean, I guess in terms of legendary studios that can record strings and whatnot. I mean, Abbey Road Studios is probably the most iconic in terms of studios capable of doing that kind of stuff and making it sound nice and warm. So Raw Blood, Architects did it recently where they did Animals live at Abbey Road Studios as well, with an orchestra of all things. So Royal Blood, another UK group, or duo actually, did some tracks as well with an orchestra there. And we're checking out Limbo, so let's hear what it sounds like. Curious to hear what that distorted bass tone sounds like live. That's awesome. Wow, vocals sound so good. This is live audio, there's no backing tracks or anything in this. Oh. That sounds like a Daft Punk song. Actually, the guitar sounds better than the studio version. It's kind of turned into a disco song in a way, actually. I guess the original had a disco vibe to it, but... I don't know, the conductors and orchestras, are they actually doing anything? Or are they just kind of there as a ceremonial type thing? Oh, it's got like a soul disco vibe about it. I've never actually checked out his kit before. What kind of setup has he got there? Can't really see it. I might try and pause it when we get a shot. Is that one of the violinists from Architects Animals orchestra arrangement, or does it just look similar? Oh, you can kind of see the kit there. Wow, okay. His kit is, for this type of music, his kit actually is a little bit more, his kit's a little bit bigger than I was expecting it to be. You know, some of these, a lot of these new age sort of bands, especially like heavier bands and stuff, I guess Raw Blood is kind of heavyish and sometimes. But like, sometimes you don't really see more than one tom. You see a floor tom and, like a one rack tom, but he's got a full setup there. Not an overly large amount of cymbals, I mean basic amount of cymbals, but like just the number of toms and stuff he's got there. I guess he does do a lot of fills and stuff in his music, so it kind of makes sense, but... Oh, his vocals sound so good too. I actually like this better than the studio version, and I like the studio version. Oh, this sounds so good. I love those soul vocals in the background too, the backing vocals. Man, what a great time for orchestras. Yeah, they probably can't do a lot of live shows, so it's good that bands are kind of partnering with orchestras and kind of giving them work, I guess. Because you can't never underestimate the impact of an orchestra. Did you see that look? Let's go back, sorry. I don't know why he's got that cheeky look. Look at him, he's a cheeky lad. Look at him. He's like, yeah, I know, this is cool. Oh, I love the build on this. Oh, this feels so good. Like you can just feel it building. Yeah. Love that little fill that he does on the drums there. So groovy. That's why he has so many toms. He can do so many cool fills. You've got like a good selection of toms on your kit. Although there are some creative drummers that can do awesome drum fills with just a couple of toms, like a floor tom and a rack tom. But if you want that tonality in your playing with your fills, you definitely want a proper setup like this. It just sounds so good. Oh, this is so good. I think there's actually a whole heap of these live orchestral arrangements too. Oh, that's so good. Well, that was Limbo from Royal Blood with an orchestra. And I assumed it was at Abbey Road. I just kind of made that assumption because the other track that they did was Abbey Road, I'm pretty sure. But it's so nice. Like, you add an orchestra into a song and it can just give it this, I can't even think of the word, depth. I think depth's the word. Like, when Architects did it with an orchestra, it was still very much like the core quintessential song with an orchestra added over the top. And it added heaviness into it. This didn't just add, like, it didn't so much add heaviness to it. It added, like, character to the song. Like the song, I really liked the song when I first heard it, the original song, and it's still a great song. But you throw in the orchestra, and it just added this new depth and complexity to the song. Like, and somehow the original kind of already had that disco Daft Punk sort of vibe, but this kind of had like an even more disco-y soul vibe about it, even more so than the original. And I think it sounded better. I think that tone as well, I wasn't expecting his distorted bass tone, that he plays to try and make it sound like a guitar, like electric guitar that's been distorted. A lot of people don't realize, he plays a bass. But I think his bass tone sounds better, like here, than the recorded version. And I guess when you're recording a song, you kind of compress it, and during the mixing phase and whatnot, it kind of loses some of its character, especially, if you're, a lot of new age music, the volume is just maxed out because that's just how it is. If you look up the loudness wars, goes back to the 90s where basically producers and mixing engineers were just trying to capture your attention and stand out, and they would compress the music, and you'd look at it on a waveform and it would just be like almost touching the top compared to music from like the 60s and 70s, a lot of vinyl stuff. You'll notice that on the waveform, the little peaks that kind of make up the different volume points and whatnot in the music, there's kind of, there's more. You can see the ebb and flow. You can see the ups and downs, the peaks and the drops and stuff like that with the volume. A lot of modern music doesn't have that, but you hear stuff like this live, and you can kind of hear everything better. It's a little bit more dynamic, and everything's a little bit more separated. And if you were to record this in that kind of old school approach, it wouldn't sound as loud. It would kind of sound probably a bit strange compared to a lot of other modern music that is trying to capture your attention. So I think reason that live performances like this sound better is because they're just not as overproduced. There's still a mixing engineer there kind of making sure that everything is balanced, but they're not, trying to capture your attention by just blasting your ears with sound and compressing out all the detail, basically. So, that's why live music is just so much better. And this is just phenomenally produced. I don't know who mixed this, but whoever mixed this did an exceptional job. I mean, the vocals sounded good, the guitar sounded good, the orchestra was just blended in perfectly, and those drums as well. I mean, those drums sound, probably some of the best live sounding drums I've ever heard, actually. And mixing drums in a live setting, especially with an orchestra, it's probably not as easy as people think it is. Mixing drums just in general, not as easy. They require a little bit more care and skill and attention to actually get them to blend in nicely, because I guess they're a little bit louder, and there's just more things to consider with drums, even how you mic them up. So that was fun. That was really fun. I'm going to go check out some of the other orchestra stuff they've done. Presumably, and maybe have done the whole new album. I'm actually not sure. I know they did another track, but that's really all I know. So if you made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. And let me know what you think of this song in the comments as well. See you guys.